Are you ready, kids? Get your parents' permission, check your mailbox, and grab your shopping cart. It's time for the Adventures in Collecting podcast.
I'm Eric.
And I'm Dave. Welcome to Adventures in Collecting, where we talk toy news, culture, and hauls,
along with our journeys as collectors.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Adventures in Collecting.
Hi.
Dave, we're back.
We are.
And, I mean, I technically don't have anything to bury this this week.
Yeah, there's no leads.
We're rolling old school. We're going old school Dave and Eric episode. Please don't turn this off. So this week, I guess I have old audio I could queue up for this. So
on today's episode,
we're gonna go over some toy news. I guess we could actually say this is our WrestleMania special, Dave.
Yeah, it is. It is our WrestleMania special. I think there's nothing else to say. You said it.
So, as of you'll be hearing this following what is this weekend? WrestleMania 38 in Dallas.
I believe so.
So, you'll be hearing this following WrestleMania 38. So, we don't know what happens yet. We can't comment on the things that happened over the last 2 days. But what we can comment on is the plethora of announcements from Mattel coming out of WrestleMania Access. So we'll bring you up to speed on that. And then we thought it would be fun to kind of look at the more toyetic side of WrestleMania and name some of our favorite WrestleMania moments that have been immortalized in plastic. And then give a couple of wants, things that have happened throughout the now 38 WrestleMania events that have not yet been immortalized in plastic. And since we don't have a fan Q&A, a follower Q&A this week, we did post up a story to ask our followers to share some of their favorite WrestleMania moments in plastic, as well as maybe something that they'd like to see. So Dave, why don't you hop into hop into the news coming out of the Dallas-Fort Worth area?
I mean, there's a lot of it, right?
Oh my God, yeah, a ton.
Many new things. I'm not quite really sure where to start.
So since I'm Captain Basic, you know what? I'll jump in and I'll talk about some of the basics that they announced. We're looking at a bunch of new basics. We've got Happy Corbin in his suit. I think it's the first time we were going to get Happy Corbin like with that name on any sort of card in any line. The last one we had was King Corbin in like I think he was in like the 90s or like 80s, the elite 80s. We also have Randy Orton rocking his shorts and his hoodie. We have Kushida. We have a new Riddle coming. We have a new Candice LeRae coming. We have an old school basic Rey Mysterio. You're gonna notice a theme throughout today's announcements. There's quite a few Rey Mysterio centric things. She still hasn't had an ultimate or an elite figure, Dave, but we have a new basic Tamina coming, along with a new basic Natalia, Roman Reigns, Cedric Alexander, Stone Cold Steve Austin rocking jeans and a 316 day shirt, and I think we'll get into that in a moment. What that could be. A basic Finn Balor, and then we have some new Championship Showdown 2-packs. So we have the AJ Styles and Omos. We have the WrestleMania 3 Hogan and Andre, and then we have the Thunderdome era Miz and Bobby Lashley from when Bobby Lashley got the Miz's title. But yeah, so lots of basics. I think the one that kind of threw me off and you had to do some explaining for me was that 316 day Austin.
Yeah, I think that's like Thunderdome era, which would have been March 16th of last year, if I remember right. Um, it's a really weird segment with like Stone Cold in the Thunderdome by himself, and like Byron Saxton is responding to him as if he were the Thunderdome crowd or the live crowd. Like Byron Saxton is giving hell yeahs and stuff. It's super weird.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it took them a while to kind of find their stride with the Thunderdome era stuff, but no, it's a part of the history. So I guess it's something you can't ignore. And then I realized there's three other basics. So we have the 2023 top pick basics, uh, which is a Suplex City Brock Lesnar, and he's got the track pants on and a Suplex City tank top. We have and it's old Brock, so it's not he doesn't have the beard and the ponytail. Um, a Seth Rollins and a more modern Rock, so bald, tattooed Rock, and that covers it for the basics that were announced. Do you want to jump into some of the elites? I don't. There's so many. I don't know how we like break this down.
We finally saw the MSK from Elite 94. We had seen previously Edge, Mace, Bret Hart, who's the Chase, Stephanie McMahon, and that special edition Bulldog. But we finally saw MSK from NXT. Lots of initials there. We saw the SummerSlam Elites, which was Build-A-Figure Child Dominic. And
The
that's
youngest Build-A-Figure.
yeah. So that's Shawn Michaels, Randy Orton, Sensational Sherry, and Rey Mysterio. Then we just saw like a bunch of ones from other series. We saw a new Big E with representing his World Championship, his WWE Championship win. WWE Championship Bobby Lashley. We saw an Eddie Guerrero with the SmackDown Tag Team title. So that's when he was that's either going to be when he was. I don't think he was champions with Chavo. He might have been though. Or when he was champions with Ray. We saw early figure of the year candidate Shotzi, depending on when that comes out, but um, that's just like a fantastic looking figure. We saw John Cena from when he was in his run against Roman Reigns. That was this past summer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or was
Yep.
it the fall? I think it was the summer.
Well, last year. Yeah, it was
Late last year.
yeah, 2021.
We have current smiling Brock with the ponytail and the beard in jeans. Unknown if we're getting a flannel shirt, but I hope we're getting a flannel shirt.
Oh, please, I hope so too.
We have ringside exclusive To the Moon Cameron Grimes. And what's cool with that is he comes with the $1 million title and just like stacks of money.
Yeah, it looks like I'm not sure if they're sculpted into those hands. Like it looks like he has like money holding hands. I don't know if they're like like if the money is loose, but yeah, that's a really fun figure.
We got to see the packaging for Ruthless Aggression Series 1 and I guess what those figures will be.
Oh, come on, you got do you have one in you? Do you have a Ruthless Aggression in you?
No.
You did it so well on the news. All right, everyone's gonna have to go back and listen to the news because he had it. He had it. Had it on point.
No, my apologies. I'm feeling a little off tonight, so no Vince for me. Just because I that's a diaphragm one, and
Fair enough. Say no more. Continue,
uh
please. So on to ruthless aggression. So we're looking at what they showed wave 2 of the Walmart exclusive ruthless aggression.
yeah, which is Booker T, as in his brief stint in the NWO, which is very fun and not a figure I thought I needed until that was shown. We have a Rey Mysterio from that era and Intercontinental Champion Rob Van Dam from that era. Then we saw a whole bunch of upcoming legends. I think one of the big highlights is a Molly Holly with a Mighty Molly chase.
I think the Mighty Molly is the standard, and the
Okay.
regular Molly Holly is the chase.
I'm sure we'll find out closer to that time. Um, Coincidentally enough, I think that Molly goes better with the original Hurricane that had a chase that was in like the standard series, not in the Legend series. Because that Legend series with longer hair was like later kind of end of Hurricane and WWE Hurricane. We have One Night Stand Rey Mysterio. We have the Acolytes, not to be confused with the APA. This is chest paint Acolytes when they were in the Ministry of Darkness.
Complete with tag titles, era appropriate tag titles.
Yeah. We saw the Stacy again, which just looks great. We saw the X Pac, which is the X Pac that's gonna round out the DX line, but they showed him in the gear that he's wearing underneath the camo and DX stuff. We saw that Kane, we saw that Lex Luger. But then we get into Ultimate Land, and there's really a couple things worth pointing out there. Um,
But wait, before we go on to Ultimate, I just want to call out real fast.
oh,
There's
and there's the top picks with Batman, Rey Mysterio.
and I was gonna say there's some really interesting, um, I guess you could say title get opportunities in these upcoming waves. So like in Elite 95, in Elite Wave 95, you have the SmackDown Tag Title with Eddie Guerrero. You
Hmm.
have the
Which
modern.
I think the last time that we got that title was with John Morrison in Survivor Series.
I think you're right. We have them, and I'm only calling out these titles because if you're a frequent listener to the show, you know that I am only very recently, like in the past like year or two, really kind of back into full swing into like wrestling figures, and it's so much fun to shoot them, and a lot of times, um, I'm now going like on the aftermarket and just kind of like trying to snipe titles. Um, so you have Jimmy Uso, also in Elite 95, who comes with the SmackDown tag title, and that thing has been tough to
The
find.
current one.
Yeah, the current one. Um, Both Bobby Lashley and Big E in that Elite 95 come with the world title as well.
And
Um,
that Jimmy is like your, yes, there was the J in the white pants, but which was more like Hell in the against Hell in the Cell Roman, like in that feud. But this could go with Jay, or just expect another Jay
yeah,
because of how like just off the charts the bloodline is.
yeah, and I don't think that fire's burning out anytime soon either. You also have two upcoming opportunities. Three. We'll get to the third one shortly, but you have two elite upcoming opportunities to get big gold. Both One Night Stand Legends Rey Mysterio comes with it, and the SummerSlam Build a Dominic Randy Orton comes with it. So that title has not been in a single pack in a while. I think the last time we saw it recently was in the 2-pack with Brett and Goldberg. Um, But speaking of Goldberg, Dave.
Oh, that Becky Lynch's Survivor Series.
Yes. There was a Becky Lynch prototype. It was the only prototype that was on display. All the others, I mean, some of them might have been prototypes, but painted. The Becky Lynch that they had on display is from Survivor Series, in like the all red outfit.
They did put a render of it up, though.
Yeah, there is a render. And again, speaking of titles, she comes with the Raw Women's title. But speaking of Goldberg and Big Gold, Dave, why don't we head into some ultimates?
Yeah, so now I don't know if this Goldberg is, I guess he would be mainline Ultimates. And it would be him and Roman in this series. But spoiler alert, it's him and Roman as the next two. And um and what's really cool is that Goldberg is WCW Goldberg. So really your like WCW Goldberg was in that 2-pack with that awful Bret Hart figure.
Yeah.
That didn't have like a hockey jersey or
The pink was weird.
wasn't in street gear to represent that occasion. He should have been in jorts. But
Which
anyway,
now you can get that, Brett.
you can, but I guess you could do like a little
Head swap.
head pop. Yeah. But anyway, so you get Ultimate Goldberg for WCW, and it's like the last Goldberg you'll need. I guess it's representing, which is pretty cool. I don't know if it'll go with that Hollywood Hogan Ultimate, because I don't know exactly what that one is off the top of my head. But this is clearly, and I mean, black trunks, black elbow pads, black knee pads, short boots. Goldberg was Goldberg for the WCW run, but with the U.S. title and the WCW World title, aka the Big Gold Belt or the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, that is him winning the title at the Georgia Dome when he had both belts. You also get like a really interesting head. You get like Stoic Goldberg, you get Screaming Goldberg, and you get Blowing Sparkler Smoke Goldberg.
Definitely a first of its kind head sculpt for Ultimate figures.
Yeah, that's something.
So Dave, in terms of availability, before you continue, just going off of Twitter, because I mean this is the only information that we have. Going off of Ringside Collectibles tweets, the Roman Reigns that we'll get into shortly says available soon at Ringside. The other two, so Goldberg and Macho Man, are not listed as coming soon to Ringside, so they could be Amazon ones. They could be
Amazon
the next two
or
Amazon.
Target.
Yeah, right. Because we recently had.
Well, Shawn Michaels is the next Amazon.
Yeah, but we all and Triple H was before him. So
that's right. Goldberg was a vote, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, you're right. He was.
So
and I remember thinking, so the Goldberg's going to be Amazon. Yep.
Goldberg is Amazon.
And Mach is probably Target.
Target with Batista.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to call that like a series, because Ultimate's coming too, right?
Yep.
So Eric actually unburied the lead there after I unburied the lead on the Roman. We'll talk about Macho in a minute. But we've got Bloodline, current modern day Roman, and this is like, how you can kind of say the Ultimates are the last figure of this person that you need until they have like a major gimmick change. So this is the last Bloodline Roman that you need, unless they release red tracksuit Roman from this past Monday's Raw, because that ruled, and I need that figure.
Yeah.
I need red. At the very least, give me red tracksuit Roman basic. There's no deco on that, but I need a red tracksuit Roman.
Yeah, that was, especially with the Usos coming out behind him in the red Bloodline shirts. That was a look. Like that was a powerful walk down to the ring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely need red tracksuit Roman. Give me all the Bloodline Romans that you can. Just give me all of them. And since the Steiners are in the Hall of Fame now, give me all the Steiner brothers too. But anyway, so Roman has the red gauntlet, so it is like current. He has the red necklace from when the Sika and Alpha gave him the necklace after he won the title
Yep.
to prove that he could lead the bloodline. So that was really where that got cemented. So that's really cool. You got that awesome bloodline shirt. Um, you get hair down, long hair Roman. You got, it looks like man bun Roman.
Yep.
And then you've got, which is a first and quite honestly a necessary head. The screaming before the
The Haka head,
yeah.
which is awesome. I love that. I mean, that's so iconic, and part
Mhm.
of not just like his persona, but like the whole heritage aspect. It's like it's going to be so awesome to be able to have that represented. It's the best. It's the
And it
absolute
comes
best.
with, and I know we had the first blue universal title with Goldberg in the WrestleMania set last year. I believe that was the WrestleMania set. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was, wasn't
Yep. The Paul
it?
Ellering.
So I know a lot of times, or sometimes they'll crank up the titles for the Ultimate figures. So you might get like a better blue universal title, but there is a blue universal title.
Yeah, there's been a bunch at this point. I think there's a Drew that's even come with one. Um,
Yeah, it's probably the same one as the Goldberg.
So yeah, but to your point, a lot of times with these ultimate ones, like you might get some like better jewel work on the actual on the WWE logo. There might just be a little more deco on those two side plates.
Like even like the Rock one, you got the Rock side plates on it. So that would be neat if it had.
The
And I'm
Roman
just trying
ones.
to look.
It's hard to see in the render. It just looks like the render just has a regular title, as a placeholder. But
Yeah, it's just a blue title.
yeah,
But that would be awesome if it's Roman's belt.
I just love
I
like
mean, that would be awful for toy photographers who just want a better universal title.
yeah.
But I mean, it's an ultimate edition figure. Like, if anything, they kind of laid that groundwork with the modern day Rock
Mm-hmm.
or the WrestleMania. I guess the WrestleMania 29 Rock. Um, or was that Royal Rumble? I don't remember which gear he's in,
But it's the
but
it's the most
it's
recent
that.
Ultimate of the Rock. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, it's I just love too with these Roman figures. Like I can't stop buying them because I'm a sucker for a good T-shirt. So like when he had the came with the head of the table shirt, like
which I
I
think
was
I
just,
got that one too. That
it's just
first one
so good.
with the bun when he first won, when he
Well,
first like came back.
that is the shirt before the head of the table one. That's the what shirt did he wear before head of the table?
That was
Not
right when he came back and was like starting to be heelish.
yeah, it's not the
But it was like also like first man bun head Roman, which I think is why I got it.
yes. Yeah, because the newest Roman, the one with the gold gauntlet and the double jointed elbows and the head of the table shirt, doesn't come with the man bun head.
Because I was like, this is clearly like this Roman.
Oh yeah,
Um, and then we also saw that fan takeover, because these I guess would be fan takeover ultimates,
yeah.
akin to like the
Wreck everyone and leave
oh,
is the
that's it.
shirt that he had on with the man bun.
Um, these would be akin to the Jeff Hardy and the Hogan and the Triple H that's still coming out at some point. The Batista that just came out. So it's like that fan takeover slash legends ultimate.
Yep,
Um,
and it's Macho Man.
and it's Macho Man. It's NWO. Macho Man. So, it's your upgrade for your original ringside exclusive NWO Black and White Macho Man. If you've got that Wolfpack one, hang on to it. I still have that. That's a great figure. But yeah, this is going to be the black and white NWO soft goods shirt with the cutouts. This within,
You've
I
actually got
would,
two shirts. He's got two
yeah,
shirts.
two
He's got the
shirts.
Madness and the
The Madness kind of ring gear one,
Yep.
and then the um him behind bars shirt,
Yeah.
which
Amazing.
yeah,
And we have a new
uh,
head. He's got the tongue out head this time around.
yeah, and it's still got that bandana feature where it's like it's sitting on his head. I don't know if how they'll ever be able to get that like to be perfect looking. It's hard to say,
Yeah.
but it's still cool. And what's neat is, we're on our for the past like year or two, over a year, that'll be the third Ultimate Macho Man, if you think
Yes.
about it.
Yeah, because you got if you were an early birder on the new gen arena, which we both were.
You got that WrestleMania 10 Macho Man. Then you have the original kind of late WWE era Macho Man that I would say is closer to like, I guess I would say that's closer to like WrestleMania 8 maybe, like him versus Flair.
Which the one that comes with the arena?
No, the original
Oh, like the
Ultimate with the
yeah,
white jacket.
with the white jacket and the like pink and green. Yeah, because the one that comes with the new gen arena is 100% WrestleMania
Oh,
10.
it's billed as WrestleMania 10.
Yeah,
And then this is just straight up like NWO
yeah,
black and white Macho Man,
yep. Which
which is
is
cool.
it's awesome.
Hmm.
And to me, like, we this always comes up.
I know
Is the
I know that
reuse thing.
defining I know that defining moments, it's not even like a question of reuse, it's more of a question of like redoing figures, because this is basically a redo of that ringside one.
It's a redo of the ringside one, which gives people a second crack at a figure that now has a pretty big
Price
draw on the
tag to it.
aftermarket. Yeah. But to me, this is also smart reuse, right? Because like you can use the same scan, a lot of the same head sculpts, but they are throwing in a new one that they're throwing in the tongue out head sculpt. But I think this is smart reuse because it allows them to use a lot of the same,
Those
sculpt
hands
work.
that are only like, well, no, it doesn't have like the points or anything like that, which is interesting.
No, it's got like it's got like the flat hands. I
Because
mean,
this is glove hands Macho Man,
yeah,
but the finger, like the points would have been cool because he still did it.
yeah. But I think they give you a couple of that extra head and the extra two soft goods shirts. I mean, you definitely
Hmm.
have an array of accessories there for sure. The Goldberg one was the one that I was worried about. I like because even when they put that fan pull up, I remember the conversation we had was like, other than the additional articulation points, what do you do to make a Goldberg figure ultimate?
I mean, what's good is, you know, you need to really do three things, right? With him, you need to do the jackhammer, you need to do the spear, and you need to do him in the corner waiting to do the spear.
Yeah.
And you could probably do that a lot easier in the ultimate than you can in that 2-pack one.
Well, yeah. I mean, ultimately, pun intended. Especially with like the new giving the elites double jointed elbows. It's really and Kane and the Undertaker. These most two recent ultimates are my first ultimate figures. Um, and honestly, the additional articulation points with the ultimates are very subtle, but they're subtle in a way that gives you a lot of realistic movement out of them. So like there are articulation hits that are in like just the right spots to give you just kind of this little bit of nuance, additional nuance to the figure. So like yeah, you'll be able to give Goldberg that, you'll be able to kind of like freeze that energy that he always had, especially in those the WCW days. But I think to answer the question too is that they made it worth worth your money with that extra crazy head sculpt with the blowing mist and the additional title. I would not have expected them to put what is that, the US title in there?
Yeah, that made sense. If anything, I would have been disappointed if it wasn't there, because during that whole undefeated streak, he had 2 belts:
Yeah.
the U.S. title and the world title.
So I mean,
And honestly, that Goldberg, like, I don't think that there ever would be 100% in the fan vote, like a unanimous fan vote. But like, if you were voting for like a WWE era Goldberg, like, why?
yeah, what's the point? I mean, he's famous, infamous,
Like, you
whatever way you
want
want to
him
say
with
it.
the
Like,
beating KO with the red belt? Like, what do you want? You want him beating Triple H for the big gold belt again? Like, okay, they made that. Like, you're good with the elite.
yeah. And to your point, there are certain wrestlers and certain looks, like once they get that ultimate treatment, y- like, not to say that they don't need to make another Goldberg figure, because there's always somebody that's new to collecting. There's always going to be somebody that wants to get in, and there's wants a Goldberg
Mhm.
figure. So like, sure, like just reissue this one. Like, wait and then reissue it, because
Or
it
just reissue the elite the 2-pack as a single card. Like,
yeah, something like that. Absolutely. Because
but
it's a great looking figure.
because they re-released like the WrestleMania Goldberg as top picks.
They
Like,
did,
what?
yes.
What? Like, the only reason people wanted that was because you needed it for Paul Ellering.
I don't like to
It's not a
to
knock on it. It's just like, it's an era of Goldberg that's like, yes, it's not represented, but it's like,
it's not very toyetic.
it's not very toyetic, but it's also not something that's like a fan renowned
No.
era of Goldberg.
He was working at that point, he was working super short matches, and I mean, like, when I think of that era Goldberg, I think of that disastrous match with him and the Undertaker.
Hmm.
And it's just
Yeah,
like it was like a botch fest, and like something I don't want to remember, because they, were very close to doing some serious harm to each other.
yeah.
So so I don't
Like
really need an action figure of that.
the one of him and Brock was fun. The one with him and Lashley was fine.
Yes, that was a very redeeming match for him. That one at the in what was that, in Saudi Arabia? That was an awesome match. Absolutely awesome match with
And the
him and
one with Drew
Lashley.
wasn't bad either, from WrestleMania last year, wasn't it?
It was short, but yeah.
Or it was at a pay-per-view. I don't think it was WrestleMania.
Yeah, no, it was one of the Thunderdome pay-per-views.
But either way, like, and that's not to knock, like, anyone. It's just like, there are a couple times where you see a figure and I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like,
like one of the most recent Edge basics with the painted on shirt. It's like, nah, I'm pass. I'm all right.
but regardless, I'm very pumped for all those Ultimates. I will do my best to acquire all of them, as some of them are a good time to try to get.
And now, a word from our sponsors. And now, back to the show.
So before you hit us with the retro news, because there's a Series 2 and Series 3 teaser, they showed off the remaining Wave 3 of the Superstars line, which is the Undertaker in his original uh, black and gray look. Got a nice soft goods tie, soft goods robe, or trench coat, I should say. Then we have green suit Ted DiBiase. Again, some really good soft goods. These of course the Superstars line is the Remco inspired line on those Masters of the Universe Origins bodies that are
Yeah, these are
Walmart
great.
exclusives. They look fantastic. Each wave looks better than the last. And then Mankind. So you got to really, and then rounding out that wave is Papa Shango, and then there's an Ultimate Warrior that's coming. I just don't know which wave he's been slotted
That's
into yet.
Ultimate Warrior's part of the Hall Nash and HBK wave.
Okay, all I know is he is going to be available in the fall. He has not did not go up for pre-order with the others, but Papa Shango rounds out your wave 3. These are Walmart exclusives. I personally have not seen a single one on the pegs yet.
No, me neither.
I know people
Wildly
are
popular.
super popular. Remember too, with these, with the Masters of the Universe Origins, with the rest in peace Masters of the WWE universe, and now these Superstars lines, they are all kit bashable. So these figures come apart. They don't come apart easily. They come apart as intended. So you can take some of the like plain Masters of the Universe Origins figures. Like you could buy a ton of He-Man figures, and eventually Sunman, and if you wanted to give somebody blue skin, you could buy a bunch of Skeletors. But you can kind of kit bash your way through these. I've seen some really shouts to Fig Vault actually on Instagram. He has kit bashed a bunch of the Masters of the WWE Universe figures to make some of those figures look like they're in the Superstars line. So like he has like a standard looking Andre, he has a standard
Well,
looking
that
Cena.
Andre is good on his own, so I'm told.
I think he needed to change
Un-
hands maybe because there was like
Mhm.
gauntlets attached, but
Same with that Cena. The Cena needed different hands.
yeah. But like they look really cool together. Sure, it's another line and another scale that you have to collect. If you get into it, but if you do have any of your AWA Remco figures, these display well with them. The major wrestling figure podcast, they have their Remco ones, more of their Remco ones, including a referee. So, at least you'll have a series of figures that you can pair with a referee. 'Cause no one
Yeah.
else seems to be other than Jazzwares with their Aubrey.
Other than Aubrey.
Yeah. But yeah, so you can expect those to show up in pre-order at Walmart soon. And
Yeah,
Dave,
they're even the Masters, like they were ones where I was like, I love this, but I just can't do everything.
yeah,
Like
I needed to
the
show restraint.
Superstars are in my would be nice, but I just like, especially that most recent wave, the Hall Nash and HBK.
Mm-hmm.
Like those are just three just dazzling figures.
And I will say, I never had my own He-Man and Skeletor back in the day. Like, I had yours to play with, and I wanted a He-Man and Skeletor for just for kind of like reference, right? So I picked up the Masters of the Universe Origins He-Man Skeletor when they were on clearance at some point at Walmart. And I will say that once you open them and get them in hand, and again, these are the same parts, same plastic, same molds, they are really great figures. They have tons of articulation in places that you wouldn't think they should. Like I'm talking like rocker ankles. I'm talking, these big muscular like thighs and calves and biceps and single jointed elbows that go and knees that go like way further than you'd imagine. Um, they just feel really nice. So like I totally understand why people are going head over heels into both this and the Masters of the WWE universe and the Origins, because they just
Mhm.
are really good figures. So it behooves you, if you're worried about getting into another line, don't even experiment. Don't get one, because I promise you, as soon as you get them in hand, you're gonna be like, I should
Yeah,
probably
that's why I
I'm
haven't
probably in
done
on
what
all
you
these.
did.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't
No, I'm not going to.
do
So
do what I say, not what I do.
yeah, like I almost got the wave one of the Superstars, and I was like, I I can't do this. Like I only have a handful of Remcos anyway. I think I had like Shawn Michaels, which Yeah, I'm aware
Mm-hmm.
of that figure. Doesn't have the accessories anymore, so don't worry about it.
I think you have. I think you have the Road Warriors too.
I have the Road Warriors. I had a couple other ones. I had Rick Martel. Um,
Was Flair one? I feel like you had a Flair.
Flair was definitely one, but I did not have him.
Okay. I'm just trying to remember the one because those used to live in the same bin somehow as like the Karate Kid figures and the
Well,
like
do
the
you know
Rambo
why?
ones. I mean, I'm guessing just based on year. It's like doing archaeology.
No, they were in the same scale. They were Remco's as well.
Oh,
Weren't Karate Kid and Remco?
I think maybe you're right. The Rambo ones definitely weren't. They were some other brand. But I just always assumed it was because of the time period. Um, but
No,
anyway,
they were The Karate Kids were Remco's. They were like kind of the same height ish, if I remember right. And I could be completely wrong, but they were absolutely Remco's. And then I don't know about Rambo.
so speaking of exclusives and retro nostalgia, Dave, what do we have to look forward to for the Mattel Creations WWE retro line?
So for the retro line, we have so the Rambo figures were Coleco, by the way. Um,
You're an encyclopedia. I love you.
I'm not gonna lie, I just looked. Um, all right, so the next wave of retros, the Mattel Creations retros, we have the Hart Foundation, Bret Hart, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, in the Aviators, um, in mid '80s Hart Foundation gear, and we know that to be true because Jimmy Hart is the next figure. So you get two Jimmy Harts this year in different lines, and then Nikolai Volkov to go with your Iron Sheik from a couple series ago.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Jim Neidhart in the Hasbro days, he never had a Hart Foundation figure, right? That
He
was
did not.
during
The
his time with Coco Beware.
well, no, that was his time with Owen,
Owen, yeah, with the blue and
because
yellow.
when it was originally Owen and Coco Beware,
Yeah,
um, which were higher energy, and then when Coco left, it was the new Foundation.
that's right.
Um, with the checkerboard pants,
Mm-hmm.
and the suspenders, I believe. Didn't they have suspenders?
I,
No. Maybe coming to the ring they had suspenders. Or maybe just Owen had them.
I just remember always thinking when we were kids, like that it was weird that he wasn't in pink and black.
Hmm.
So it's good to finally have that version of him um in that format.
But anyway, yeah, so we have that um Hart Foundation Jim the Anvil that if rumor has it, and it tends to be a pretty accurate seeming rumor, that it was originally supposed to be Hart Foundation Jim the Anvil from when they got back together briefly in the 90s. And then yeah, so now we're getting like peak heel 80s Hart Foundation. And then speaking of figures that were never made, but we know to have almost existed thanks to friend of the pod Matt Cardona, Tugboat for Series 3.
Yeah, now begins the pondering who are the other three that go with him. Are they I think they're going to stick with kind of in that Legends world for a little bit longer before they start working in some modern folks.
Oh, I don't think they're going to be working in modern people for a while, especially if you see kind of, all right, we went WrestleMania 1. This is kind of WrestleMania 2, 3 ish. Tugboat is. When did Tugboat come in? That was before 6, wasn't it?
Oh God.
So,
I don't have an answer for you on that one. Way way before my
or was it
time,
7?
and I do not have
Which one was the one with Slaughter?
oh, I just rewatched all these too.
I believe that was 7.
With like
It
heel like
was.
terrorist slaughter.
Yeah, with the
Like,
Sergeant Slaughter turning heel and being an Iraqi sympathizer. Yeah, that tugboat was WrestleMania like 6, 7-ish.
yep, I just watched that one. Correct.
So, um, what tugboat actually came in when Earthquake injured Hulk Hogan back when that feud was happening. So like it's that kind of time span, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see like
You could get
what
like
is
a Colonel Mustafa and a Slaughter,
and a
actually.
Sarge, and then there's the red and yellow Hogan for this kind of run of these.
Yeah, yeah,
Good.
yeah. So that kind of rounds out all the announcements. I know there was a lot. We just spent, geez, 40 minutes talking about announcements. Um, so some of these are already up for pre-order on Ringside Collectibles. They have put up, I'll tell you right now, the SummerSlam Build to Dominic Elite 94, Basic Series 132, the To the Moon Cameron Grimes, the
And it looks like the money is part of his hand,
yeah, the 20
which is hilarious.
the 2023 Elite Top Talents and the 2023 Basic Top Talents. All of those sets are available currently for pre-order on ringsidecollectibles.com. And if you head over there and you pre-order them, put in code AIC at checkout, and we'll save you 10%. Yeah, if you're looking to get a jump on those, as you guys know, if you're wrestling figure fans, you know, Ringside Collectibles gets these earlier than anybody else. So, if you wanted to jump on them, now's the time to do it. So with that, Dave, let's head into our main topic here, and let's talk some WrestleMania moments. This segment is brought to you by our friends at Chubsy Wubsy Toys. A traditional mom and pop toy store in Little Falls, New Jersey, Chubsy Wubsy Toys brings you the best new toys from the brands you love without the hassle of pounding the pavement searching for them at larger retail stores. Visit them in person at 106 Main Street in Little Falls, New Jersey, or online at chubsywubsy.com. That's CHUBZYWUBZZY.com. And tell them Adventures in Collecting sent you. How would you like to slice this? Do you want to alternate and go back and forth on our favorite three? We each picked a top three WrestleMania moments immortalized in plastic, or do you want to start with our wants?
You could do whatever you want to do. I'm good either way.
You know what? Let's do our top threes first. We'll
Okay.
save our wants for the end. So
Um, they are ones that, other than one of them, I don't think I own any. Other than one of these, it's the only one I own, and I don't own two of these, and I say two. I picked with kind of sentimentality for me more so than anything.
So this was an interesting exercise for me, actually. So the want, when we get to the want, that I can say,
The want, I just think it should have happened, but
the want is something that I like, a moment from my childhood watching wrestling. Whereas honestly, the three, my top three, I only own one of them. Um, and that is also something that I think is just iconic. But the other two are actually pretty recent things, and have been something that has been kind of, I guess you could say, important to me in recent years. So I'm curious to see what yours are, because we did not discuss these in advance. So
and I have one that I would say is like an honorable mention. And that's going to be the fan takeover Amazon exclusive Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, which I know that's the second time they've made that WrestleMania 3 one. But like I was a big Dragon fan when I was a big Ricky Steamboat fan. Like,
Alright.
I bought in. I thought he was Macho Man really almost killed him with the ring bell, and like,
It's real. It's real. It was real to you.
oh, it was also like I was also 6 years old,
I
so
know. We all have those moments, Dave. All right. So since you started with your honorable mention, I don't have one, so I'm gonna jump right into my top three here. So,
okay.
my first one, I'm gonna do these in order of WrestleManias. So I'm gonna start with the oldest WrestleMania first. So this is the only one of these that I own. And it's the WrestleMania moments basic Andre the Giant with ring cart, from WrestleMania 3. Uh, I love, love a good basic figure. When a basic figure hits, it's awesome. And Andre is a perfect example of a wrestling figure that does not need to be an elite or an ultimate. As long as the head sculpt and face scan are there, which these absolutely are. This figure looks incredible. He's in the black single strap, unitard. It's awesome. Comes with the ring cart, which is iconic and great for photography, great for display. Yeah, so that's my first one. WrestleMania moments, basic Andre the Giant from WrestleMania 3.
All right, I'm gonna go with the first WrestleMania I saw, and that's WrestleMania 2. And it's a 2-pack that is undoubtedly one of like it's not a heralded match at all, but the 2-pack rules. And I love it, and it was my first WrestleMania that I watched, and I wore the tape out, and it's not a great WrestleMania. And that's WrestleMania 2. Mr. T, Roddy Piper, the boxing match 2-pack. It's such a bizarre match, and such a like I can't believe they made it. And it was one of those things where I was like, all right, they made this and I need it. Like, I loved this when I was a kid, and yeah, it immortalizes such a weird moment in WrestleMania history.
Plus, it use those use you got that license from Mr. T, so just make them all.
You basically have.
Oh, it's
You
true
got
actually with the new Ultimate that's coming out. Yeah.
yeah, and then that Comic Con was kind of like a Saturday night's main event,
Well, I mean,
Mr. T.
that figure is just like
But
a
it's awesome
Mr. T
regardless.
figure. Yeah, it's awesome. All right, my next one, we jump from WrestleMania 3 to WrestleMania 32. And it is another basic figure. It is, speaking of friend of the pod, Matt Cardona. It's Basic Series 72 Zack Ryder. In the ring gear in which he won the Intercontinental title in.
In the venue that WrestleMania will be in this weekend.
Yep, in Dallas. So, was I was not a wrestling fan at the time, so I did not watch that when it happened. But as I got back into wrestling, and we got a chance to sit down and chat with Matt, and of course, just kind of the awesomeness of the Major Wrestling Figure podcast, and we've said it before how much of an influence that was on this show. Going back and kind of reliving that moment for the first time, and I shouldn't even say reliving it. Going back and seeing that moment for the first time, truthfully, not knowing how that WrestleMania was going to end. I did not know the outcome of that match. I didn't know his history with the title. So it was awesome. Like, I was watching it, I was on the edge of my seat. I couldn't believe it when it happened. I think I actually texted you
Yeah,
afterwards, and I was like, "Why didn't you? Why did you not tell me that this was a thing that happened?" So yeah, I know it's a basic figure, but again, it's a good
it was
likeness
a
of
cool moment.
Matt. I love the white and purple ring gear, so yeah, that's my
Yeah,
next
as
one.
someone who had been a fan and like had been away for a while, it was really Matt and CM Punk that kind of got me back into it. So um, that was always he was always someone I was a fan of. So that was cool to see. Speaking of somebody in purple and white gear, I'm gonna go backwards a little bit to WrestleMania. WrestleMania 7. It is the defining moments. Um, Macho Man Randy Savage, although I believe he was still Macho King Randy Savage at the time. Going into WrestleMania 7, that's the retirement match with the Ultimate Warrior. Um, And this is one of those ones where it's like overdue to be redone as an Ultimate. I just think it is. Like, if you were gonna ever do like your first Ultimate 2-pack, you could do
Oh my god.
well, you wouldn't even know who I would pick for the second one. It
No,
wouldn't be Ultimate Warrior.
I'm just thinking an ultimate, like just an ultimate 2-pack. Like the idea of there being an ultimate 2-pack is just
And that the second person in it is Elizabeth in Street Gear.
oh god.
Um,
No, but that's a good point. It's a good point.
but yeah, like, or at least like there needs to be another like an Ultimate of this. It's almost like so much time has passed that they need a second crack at it because it's such a huge moment. Um, and you know the match rules. It's I mean it's probably it's probably everybody's favorite Ultimate Warrior match, to be honest. Um, but you know the moment afterwards with Elizabeth coming out of the crowd, and then there's that shot of the people cry, you know, shots of the people crying in
And
the crowd. And,
she hands it to Sherry too, right?
yeah,
Because Sensational Sherry comes back in the ring and starts.
starts kicking Macho Man. Like
Yeah,
it's such an awesome moment.
it really, and I can actually. That's another one where, like, obviously, I was not alive for that WrestleMania. If I was like one.
Um,
I don't know if that was 88 yet or
no, you
89,
were alive. You were absolutely WrestleMania 7. You were alive. WrestleMania 1 was 84
but
or 85.
that was one I did not remember watching. So
Yeah, WrestleMania 1 was 85. You were born.
that one I got to see with like new eyes, and again, like just knowing wrestling, like I knew that all of those things happened, but like seeing it kind of play out, it really was like that was a powerful moment. So that would be a sweet two. I hate to say it sounds terrible, but like in lieu of accessories, like you could even if they put in like just an Elizabeth with you know like
Just a
more
regular elite
yeah
Elizabeth.
that would be amazing. It'd be amazing. So
Yeah. Like, you know, I mean, granted, Ultimate Elizabeth would rule, but like, even if you did it as like the same elite, well, you know, but she's in that sweater and
hmm
whatnot, like that's
yeah, I have the elite of her in the yellow dress from the like
the
the
SummerSlam.
yeah, and it's a great figure.
Mm-hmm.
Even the one of her in the green dress was a great figure too from a couple years before that.
The Network
Um,
Spotlight, yeah.
All right, so my last one, and truthfully, I don't know why I haven't gotten these figures yet. I will likely get around to it at some point, but my last one takes us to WrestleMania 36, so only 2 years ago, and it's WrestleMania 38 Elite AJ Styles and Elite 85 Undertaker. This is a 2-for-1 package here because it's the Boneyard match, Undertaker's his last ride. Um, the pandemic was and kind of like we're still feeling it, but like when it was at its height and everyone was scared and everyone didn't know what to do, and we didn't know what was going to continue and what was going to happen. It will
I mean, WrestleMania was the first thing that happened. That WrestleMania.
and you have to give it to the WWE. They really kind of showed that I think they were a little more nimble than people give them credit for by doing these kind of theatrical moments, these cinematic matches, both in the Boneyard match and what they did with Cena and Bray, which was fantastic. The Firefly Funhouse match. Um, but the Boneyard match, I mean, Undertaker was ready to hang it up, and it would have been terrible had he not had the opportunity to have kind of like one last showing. And it was cool to see him come back out as the American Badass for the first time in a long time. The way that they shot that match, the spots,
The Metallica.
it really was impressive. And I find myself, I actually go back and I watch it from time to time.
The Undertaker literally murdered Gallows and Anderson off of WWE TV.
For real, he did.
That was their
Um,
last appearance.
it was awesome. It was such an awesome match. And proved that you know even in a time where like it was tough to have that kind of entertainment, that they found a way to do it. If it was filmed outside, like they literally like checked all the boxes, right? But yeah, it was awesome, and it's
Yeah, those matches were fantastic.
it's really cool to have figures of of those two those two performers in that gear, with the accessories. And AJ comes with the fun hands, so you can do the thing with the glove. He's got the shirt on, he's got the jeans. Of course, the Undertaker is rocking his American Badass look. Yeah, just they're an awesome pair of figures. It would be super cool to see them as maybe a 2-pack with some like additional accessories from the
The
match.
accessories they have though are good.
They are the shovel and everything, yeah. So, but yeah, you got to chase them down in 2 different waves, which isn't super
Well,
uncommon.
that I think they made the top picks Undertaker now is that too.
Yes, yeah, the 2022 top picks Undertaker is is a re-release of the Boneyard one. So, but yeah, either top picks or Elite 85 Undertaker, and WrestleMania 38 Bill DeVince Elite AJ Styles Boneyard match.
And there's a ton, we're missing the Kofi from a couple years ago,
The Bianca.
uh the Bianca um from recently.
I mean, we could sit here all
Uh
day. They've done
yeah,
they've done waves and waves of
Austin.
literally just WrestleMania figures. Like I'm sitting here looking at my the Austin from that WrestleMania, like his farewell match, and it's an amazing figure. It's an
Mhm.
amazing Austin figure.
Yeah, like there's just so many, that Ultimate Rock, which I think it's more Royal Rumble. No, because it's the new belt. It's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That's got to be WrestleMania. Um, there's Daniel Bryan from WrestleMania 30. You can go on forever. The Batista, even though the match wasn't the greatest, that last Batista,
Mm-hmm.
because that's his last match. So there's a lot. There's a lot of good ones.
Hunter too. That Hunter from that match.
Yeah,
It's a great figure.
yeah. Um,
So
WrestleMania 10 Shawn, WrestleMania, I'm sorry, 12 Shawn Michaels. Like it goes on forever.
so
But
close us out, Dave. What's your last one?
my last one is an entire series because it's the only WrestleMania I've ever been to. And that was WrestleMania 29 at MetLife Stadium. It's a 4-pack with a build to Paul Heyman. I would love to get these. They roll for about 100 plus each now these days. They're still, I still have some saved searches where it's like, oh yeah, there they are, and there's still that much. But it's honestly one of my favorite matches that I've seen live, even though I thought Punk was going to break the streak. It's CM Punk in the gray trunks with the purple stars. Um, in his like mocking the Undertaker leading up to that match. You have Brock Lesnar from the match with Triple H. Um, you have Daniel Bryan from the tag team match early in the show when he was when he was with Kane in Team Hell No. Um, and then you have John Cena from the Rock match.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like a Toys R Us exclusive Triple H from that match too with Brock. Um, when Triple H when he was coming out got sprayed with the dry ice and had burns on his chest the whole match.
Yeah.
Um,
Whoops.
yeah. But even still, like thinking back at that Punk match, like that Undertaker entrance where he was basically like crowd surfing out, like that, it just ruled.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was a fun WrestleMania. It was probably a fun WrestleMania just because it was there, but The Rock doing an entire match with a torn abdomen, like because he hurt himself like seconds into the match. it was just, it was fun. It was the first WrestleMania it was the only WrestleMania I've ever been to. So those four figures to me will always just remind me of that and of going more so than what happened.
Fair. So let's cover our before we dip into some of the suggestions from our followers. Let's hit our wants. So you started us off with your top moments. So I'll start us off with the wants. This was, as soon as we discussed that we were going to do this. This was an instant, like absolute instant. Did not have to think twice about this. If I could snap my fingers right now and have a WrestleMania moment appear in front of me, it would be a 2-pack, and it would be WrestleMania 11, Lawrence Taylor and Bam Bam Bigelow.
And Bam Bam, they got the Legends deal, so
Yeah, and I would love. I mean that the ring gear.
that ECW Bam Bam rules.
It does, but for me, the black and gray ring gear doesn't do it. I need the black, orange, like that, the flame motif.
The red, yellow, and orange. Yeah.
And that's what he wore at that match. It is not the greatest match, but
it's surprisingly good though.
It is. I was just gonna say,
LT did all right.
I rewatched it. LT apparently he trained, at least, I didn't really read too far into it. I remember them saying it in the match back in the day, and they said, I recalled correctly, but they said that he trained with Diesel, with Kevin Nash. So, I mean, if that's the case, he prepped him well, because he did not miss any spots. He didn't botch anything. If anything, the like lumberjack aspect of it, with all all of like the athletes
with
around the outside,
with future WCW United States champion Steve Mongo McMichael.
Yeah. But yeah, I would absolutely love a 2-pack of them. I'm not even a Giants fan, but I just remember the hype of LT, at really kind of like.
I mean, it's cool being from New Jersey, right?
Yeah, and that's it. And I considering the fact that they were able to get the rights for Gronk and and Mr. T, I have to imagine that getting the rights to make an LT action figure wouldn't be too far out of the realm of possibility. So fingers crossed. If we got a Roddy Piper boxing boxing Mr. T 2-pack. Maybe we'll get an LT Bam Bam one. So that's my want.
I mean, mine is, I echo the sentiments of another podcast about this topic. I do think that a WrestleMania 35 WWE Tag Team Champion, Raw Tag Team Champion, Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins would have ruled. Matt in the Christian gear and Brian in the Jets gear.
Yeah. Yeah, that the Jets gear was great. The green and white.
You as a Met fan, I appreciate the Mets gear more, but that's was one on the field in which they play, so that's really cool. Yeah, that's it. I think that it was a good match with the Revival at the time with FTR. The rematch the next night was good too, and yeah, it was just a really cool moment that I know they're immortalizing with their Remco style figures, but it would have been cool to have seen a Mattel of it.
So we have a couple of now. I'm looking at these. I collected them. I did not. Full disclosure. I did not look in to see if any of these exist, so I don't know if these are people listing their favorites or people
Listing what they want.
So we'll figure that out as we go along. We don't have many here.
Yeah,
we
sure.
only have 5. So, well, I'll start with this one because I know it's not a thing, and I'm just gonna assume, based off of this one, that at Ryan Nickel 44 can see into the future, Dave, because he would like a Johnny Knoxville figure.
Okay. You could, you could put Bad Bunny in there too.
Yeah, you know what? That was one that, like I said, I didn't have to second guess my pick for want. But if I had a runner up, it would absolutely be Damian Priest and Bad Bunny 2-pack.
Yeah, I mean, you could get away with just selling Bad Bunny on his own. I think people would buy that
100%.
regardless.
And I'd take him in either the like riot gear that he wore for WrestleMania, or truth be told, the like
The
olive
Royal Rumble
green
one.
Royal Rumble outfit. Give me either one. It's totally fine. Just give me a Bad Bunny figure. He better get one before Logan. Not Logan Paul. Logan Paul.
No, it's Logan.
Yeah, he better get one before Logan Paul. That's all I'm saying. This next one I also know is a thing that's not a thing. And that'll be clear in a moment. But at Figure Kingdom wants a WrestleMania 10 Brett versus Owen 2-pack.
I mean, yeah, that would rule. That was a
Um,
great match.
but
And it started the show too. It was like, yep, we're starting at this high, and then
coming in hot,
one of the best matches in WrestleMania history, and then
and then the rest of WrestleMania 10, which had its other moments. But
yeah,
yeah, but who knows? Depending on the Owen that we get from Jazzwares, or one of the Owens that we get from Jazzwares, we're not quite sure what we're gonna see from that yet. But maybe you can kind of fudge your way through a redo of that match. Now this one, Dave, I don't know if this exists. So, Matt Goldberg at MBG 1211, amazing photographer. He shoots like much of the Jazzwares promo pics for their AEW line, and Figure Kingdom, actually, going back to the last pick. He is an amazing photographer as well. He shoots a bunch of stuff for Ringside Collectibles, and both Matt and Manny of Figure Kingdom, they did the Austin 316 day with us. So thanks again, guys, for doing that. But Matt wants to see a Joker Rey Mysterio.
okay. Yeah, I don't think they've done that.
But considering they're on a, I mean, he's on the cover of WWE 2K22, and he has a ton of figures coming out.
I mean, we're getting Batman Rey Mysterio, and there's been the basic of Silver Surfer Rey Mysterio, and they made Flash Rey Mysterio.
So there you go. Maybe it'll happen.
Yeah, I don't think they've done Joker one yet, though.
Yeah. No.
If they did, it would have been
If they did,
way a long time ago.
it could probably be. I mean, it could probably be done with a redo at this point. But yeah, it's we've said it before. He's one of the most toyetic people on the planet, and has probably had more action figures of him than like any other wrestler ever. But yeah, there should, much like Spider-Man or Batman, I feel like there should always be a Rey Mysterio. There's the top picks one that's out right now, the like gray and pink one, is amazing. All right, the next one comes to us from at Sean to the Max. He says, easily the flaming table spot.
Now, see, that exists.
Okay, help me out.
It's that Edge from last year and the Foley from the year before.
Okay, so the Foley.
I'm pretty sure that's the.
It's the Foley on the Tampa Bay card.
Yeah. Because that's unless it's supposed to be WrestleMania 2000, which.
I mean, it would just kind of going to the idea of a flaming table spot. It would be really cool to see them do something with like a translucent like flame effect.
No, it is it. That is it. It's WrestleMania 22.
Like that would be a fun ringside, like, because that's an accessory that no one has tackled yet in wrestling figures. Like not even like the boss fight with the lucha stuff.
Yeah, those figures. So in the last year's WrestleMania Edge and the year before's WrestleMania Foley are those figures. I'm guessing Sean wants like blood and guts style, which you would never see happen.
Yeah, I mean they're not going to make figures with the product that WWE produces. They're not going to make figures that are bloodied, but like I wouldn't put it past them, like Steve and Bill and Rob to try to make something like with a table with a flame effect. Like that would be cool. Because they still make the breakaway
I
tables.
mean, the last time they tried to do something, even WWE did something like it. I was there for it. It was Extreme Rules after WrestleMania 30. It was at the Meadowlands. It had that awesome what's it called? Falls Count Anywhere, Shield versus Evolution
Oh
match.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and it had WLC on the pre-show, which was another like way too good, like unexpectedly good match with Swaggle with 3MB and El Torito
Yeah.
with Primo and Epico. I forget the Los Matadores names, but it was Primo and Epico. But yeah, that, and then there was Kane and Daniel Bryan was the main event, and Kane lit a table on fire, and Kane went through the table. That was the last time I've seen WWE do that, and I don't think they've done it since.
Yeah. I mean, they're bringing, from what I heard today, the next Saudi Arabia event appears to be a
TLC,
TLC.
isn't it?
So
I just I think they're at a point where I just don't see it happening.
yeah. Well, I mean, everything is, and no knock to WWE because everything that they do is to kind of continue the image that they have, and they're trying to keep that PG-13 image, and they want to keep
The publicly traded company idea.
yeah, and they want to keep the injury, the legit injury,
Hmm.
and the blood down. So like, oh, I don't, no
I
no
mean, what
fault
a
to them.
match!
Yeah.
What a match! But you those figures are there.
Yep. All right, and then our last one. Moving on to our last one. This is again, I'm not sure if this is something that exists or not. I feel like half of this might exist, but we'll get to that. At the Berg 511, by the way, congratulations to the Berg and the Berg wife on their upcoming baby. Congrats, guys. Uh, he's looking for a Rock versus Hogan 2-pack or a Mega Powers Explode 2-pack. I feel
I mean,
I feel like the Rock and Hogan one you can put together.
you could, but is it the right gear? Like, I don't think that. I think that the Ultimate Hogan is a WCW,
Yeah. But I mean, if
so
you're
I don't
talking
think they've
Hollywood
made.
gear,
Yeah, but it's that the WWE NWO gear is different.
okay.
Um, so yeah, that's not. I mean, I'm sure that Rock is out there in some form or fashion or something similar to it, but I think that could be one. Um, Let me look up WrestleMania 5 Hogan. Because I feel like that gear for either of them is pretty common.
Why do I feel like that the WrestleMania 5 Hogan is the basic
It's
that
the
they just
it's
put out
it's the Hulk rules. It probably is.
in the basic
Um,
WrestleMania line,
Let me look.
making us do work here.
I've been looking stuff up the whole time.
All right, so it's the Hulk rules bandana, like headband.
No, that's not even Hulk rules. That's Hulkamania. That looks like either WrestleMania 2
No, I'm looking at
or
I'm not looking at the picture of the figure. I'm looking at the picture of Hogan.
Oh, I'm looking at the figure. The basic that just came out.
Yeah.
That's like either WrestleMania 2 or WrestleMania 7.
Okay. Yeah, I mean the Hogan that's in
And that's based off of how he's wearing the bandana.
the Hogan in WrestleMania 5 is it really would boil down to hair. Cuz the ring gear is the high yellow boots with the red knee pads and the yellow trunks and white wrist tape. So really you would just need a Hogan with the right like era of receding hairline. Um
It's so hard because like
and Mach is in the
he had
salmon.
like 4 shirts.
Yeah. I don't think there's been a Mach in the salmon ring gear. Salmon colored ring gear.
Um I don't know if there has been with the white boots.
Yeah. I mean, that's got 2-pack written all over it. Like let's be honest. That's
Oh
because
yeah.
those don't need to be elites. That's got or those don't need to be ultimates, excuse me. Um
I'm trying to look at what the other Legends 11 one is. Nope, that's yellow with yellow boots. Uh
and it's no stars either. He doesn't have stars on his trunks
yeah, he does.
in WrestleMania 5.
He doesn't?
No, I'm trying to zoom in on this picture and my phone's being a jerk.
No, he's got it.
I don't know, man.
Oh, you're right, he doesn't.
No, I think they're playing. Yeah, no, they're playing. He's got no stars. So yeah, that's a unique Macho Man. We have not. I don't think we've had that.
No, I don't think I've ever seen like so much so that I, didn't even realize that for,
Unless
you know,
are they on his ass? I'm
no.
only seeing front pictures of him. I'm trying to find one from behind. No, they're not. They're completely plain.
It's just plain salmon or pink trunks.
Yep, he's got salmon pink trunks and salmon pink knee pads and white boots.
Yeah, and the white boots, I don't know if there's ever other than like Macho King, like that WrestleMania 7. I don't know if there's been a white boots or like the later Macho Mans. But like I don't think there's been like a trunks white boots Macho Man
Yeah,
figure.
that's a great call. That is a great
The one you always get is the WrestleMania 3, the yellow with the
with the light blue,
no.
right? Because isn't there
No,
just another basic of that one that just came out?
no, that basic I don't know I don't remember what that's from.
Oh, that because it's right. It's not on a WrestleMania card. It's on like just the regular basic card. Yeah, yeah. That's a great call. That's a great call on that. On like I said, you could probably fudge that Hogan. There's
Yeah, because WrestleMania 3 is like the Randy Savage you see when you close your eyes.
yeah.
The pink trunks or salmon trunks, yellow knee pads, yellow boots. It's basically Legends 11 without the creamer hand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But they did that was a defining moments too with the big robe. Um but yeah, that's like that, you're used to seeing that look Macho Man. And then all yellow is usually the other one.
That's funny. I never realized that until looking at it. I'm today years old that he did not have stars on his trunks for that match. So yeah, that would be another good one, Sean. That's a good that's like I said, you could probably get away with another like there's definitely a Hogan that you could get away with out there to fill in for that Hogan. Probably even the Survivor Series Hogan, to be truthful. The one that just came out. You could probably get away with. Take the bandana off and you're in
Um
business. But yeah,
they
that
would
is
have had a bandana.
well, I mean if you wanted to do once he's mid match, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so thank you everybody for contributing your wish lists here. It's fun to think about all these. And it's it's WrestleMania season. So it's fun. It's going to be fun going into this weekend. We got a 2-day event this year. Hopefully some surprises. You'll be hearing this, and then, arguably the only thing that's as fun, if not more fun than WrestleMania sometimes is the Raw right after. So, you could listen to this Monday morning and then tune into Monday Night Raw on Monday evening. But
and wax poetically about what figures we, might enter our kingdoms that'll give us American nightmares in the near future
oh my god.
that we're all hoping for.
Yeah. Then they can take a stab at the neck tattoo too.
Yeah.
Watch it.
I don't know. I couldn't. Those are the only Cody references I could think of.
Watch it be Shane.
I feel like that works.
Watch it be Shane McMahon.
That I would get a good chuckle out of it.
Can you
I
imagine?
would be mad if I like broke speed laws to get to your house to for it to be Shane McMahon. But
I just rewatched the thing with him, with the bit with him and Vince today.
it reminds me of and I heard this on the internet somewhere. I forget who. Somebody said it. A bunch of people have actually said, like, watch, it's Shane McMahon. But, like, one person, and I read a lot today, said, like, wouldn't it be funny if it was, like, Shane comes out? Because Vince is talking about, like, Vince is introducing, and it's, a second generation, son of a promoter, and Shane comes out, and Vince goes, no, not you. And then Cody's music hits.
Oh, that would be
Like,
fantastic.
that would rule.
That would be
That
great.
would rule. Where whatever your idea of what's going to happen will likely be better than what happens.
Unless it's that.
Unless it's that. But like if they have him do anything and it's not the music and not the jacket and not being the American Nightmare and
Stardust,
not coming out of the middle of the entrance, like it's gonna be like, oh, why did we do that? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But it'll be cool. It's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
It'll be cool. It'll be long, and it'll be one of those things where it's like you're sitting there and it's like, oh, there's and then something happens where you're like, all right, this can get me through the rest of this, because that's WrestleMania every year.
The one thing, honestly, before we call it quits for the evening, the one thing that I am super curious about, we don't even need to talk about the outcome of the match, because regardless of how it ends, unless there's like some stupid DQ thing and like they end up not unifying the titles, whatever,
they're not going to.
I'm really, really curious. I am really, really curious to see if what the new title will look like, if they're going to do a new title, if they're going to bring back like the eagle, if they're going to bring back big gold, something, right?
It's going to look like this, but it'll be like blue and red.
Maybe. I mean, I think that's a safe bet from like a merchandising standpoint. It makes sense to make like a new thing. Like I wouldn't.
They've established this look for the title.
Yeah. I wouldn't hate that. I'm not saying that that's a bad idea. But the other thing too is, do you think we're going to see it at Mania, or do you think we're going to see it on Raw the next night?
Oh, they have it already. It's just a question of when they show it.
Yeah.
And and honestly, if it happens, it's not happening until Friday. There's no way Roman's losing this match.
No. But I mean, I would think that Raw being the event that it would be, like I could see him leaving WrestleMania with 2 belts, and then them doing like some sort of ceremony on Raw the next night to like be like the actual unification event. Because then he shows up.
Cody interrupts.
Imagine that, Shane.
Yeah, and then Shane comes out.
All right. Well, this has been our WrestleMania special. Thank you to our amazing followers for chiming in with some input. For those of you that hung through this, that are maybe not super big wrestling
I am
fans,
so sorry.
we apologize, but WrestleMania is a great time to jump into
Mhm.
wrestling for like the season, if you will. So if
This
you
is not our first WrestleMania show. You can go back in the archives and see the other one.
Yep. And also, if you're listening to this Monday morning and you did not watch WrestleMania, like I said, Monday Night Raw. It's the Raw after WrestleMania is a great this is a great time of the
I
year.
saw one of the most wild ones in history firsthand.
It's
Right after that, right after 29, with Ziggler and Fandango, people chanting Fandango's music, and
it is an absolute great time to jump into wrestling, especially the WWE. So, if you listen to this episode and you're like, hey, yeah, this sounds kind of interesting, check it out tonight. And then, yell at us on Instagram and Twitter at AIC_podcast if you hate us for making you watch wrestling.
and if you're looking forward to next year's WrestleMania episode, and also go back to the archives and check out all of our wrestling themed episodes with such luminaries as Matt Cardona and Yuma and
Jeremy Padour
Jeremy Padour and Magic
and
and
Steve Ozer.
Steve
Yeah.
and um our most recent episode even
Yeah. Dave,
with Gregory.
sign us out.
If you smell, no, and that's the bottom. No, I have other people's catchphrases in mind.
Dave, just say bye.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, dear listener, for hanging out with us today. Subscribe, rate, and review us wherever you listen, and then tell your friends to do it. Thanks also to Joe Azari, the golden voice behind our intro. Our music is Game Boy Horror by the Zombie Dandies. Find more about them both in our show notes.
Follow us on social media at AIC_podcast on Instagram and Twitter. Stop by and say hi, show us your toy hauls, and share your toy stories. Maybe we'll talk about it in a future episode.
Don't try this at home. Void where prohibited and some assembly required. Each sold separately, not a flying toy. Consult a physician if your toy run exceeds more than 4 hours.
This has been a non-productive media presentation. Executive producer, Frank Hablawi. This program and many others like it on the Non-Productive Network is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Please share it, but ask before trying to change it or sell it. For more information, visit non-productive.com.